let's move on to the real stuff because we had a phenomenal game in Seattle.
Yep.
And my goodness, it was, it's exactly what we expected to see between these two teams. 7th and 8th team in the country, two powerhouse offenses. It was obviously a very hostile environment in Seattle, and these two teams did not like each other. Yes. And it went back and forth, and it came down to a game time field goal, and it was obviously missed, and Washington came out on top. But is this kind of what you expected? I think that did you think Oregon was going to win?
Yeah, I had Oregon winning this one.
And who do you think is at fault for this Oregon loss, or do you think it's Washington should be credited for the win?
I definitely both. Like Washington deserved to win for sure. But I don't know. I see a lot of people going at Dan Lanning for a lot of the decisions he made. It's easy to go back and look at those decisions and be like, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. But in the moment, if those decisions pay off, we're talking about Oregon winning this game by a couple scores because they were stuffed on the goal line a couple times.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to throw this one on Dan Lanning. I think he's an aggressive coach. And if people can't recognize that by now, then that's just going to, that's something you're going to have to deal with. He's an aggressive coach. He's going to go for it often. He's not really going to settle for field goals because he understands that, field goals aren't always going to win you games, which is funny because in this case they would have.
Yes.
But for the most part, if you're kicking 3 against, top 10 teams, you're not going to win. So he understands that. He got aggressive, went for 4th down a couple times, didn't really pan out, but I still think Oregon is, and the AP reflected this too. I still think Oregon's legit, and I think that they have a very good chance of still winning this conference and going to the playoff.
Yeah, so the AP definitely reflected on how legit this Oregon team is because they only dropped 2 spots. They were at 7, now they're 9.
Yeah, were they 8 or were they 7?
I think
it was either 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah, it was either 1 or 2 spots. So, I mean, not too big of a dip. But I think my opinion on the Dan Lanning stuff is complete opposite of yours. I think that, this loss kind of weighs on his shoulders. I think that there was some times where it's Oregon and they're just kind of ignorant, It's like, I think they're at the end, you punt the ball and pin that Washington offense, within 5 yards and make them go beat you. And I know that they could still score. I know that Washington could still score in that situation, but I think at midfield there with 4th and 2, I think you just need to punt the ball and, make that team come down the field and beat you. And obviously that wasn't the case. They went for it, did not convert, and then Washington scored 2 plays later. So that's kind of my thought on that. Also at the beginning of the end of the first half, I thought you'd just take the points there as well.
Yep.
And I'm sure that he's regretting both those decisions after the loss. So
yeah, there's a lot of talk about the punt. Should they go for it? Should they punt? The way I look at it is Michael Penix is one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He's got the best receiving trio in the nation. In my opinion, even if you punt that ball, I think Washington's still scoring. Yeah. So I don't mind going for it. The way I look at it is you play to win, you don't play to lose. And if you punt the ball, you're playing to lose, in my opinion, because you're giving a high-powered offense the chance to go down with maybe seconds left on the clock, score, win the game. Then you don't even get that chance to kick the field goal. So I didn't hate the decision to go for it on 4th. I thought, it's one of those decisions. If it works, he looks like a genius. It obviously didn't work, so he's getting criticized for it. It's football. It's the way it is. But it just comes down to how important it is to have not only, 22 good players on your football team, but almost like 44, including like special teamers. The kid missed the field goal that you'd kind of hope he would have made, but can't really blame it on him because they definitely didn't lose the game because of the kicker.
Yeah.
So overall, I don't hate Dan Lanning's decisions. I'm an aggressive fan. I like to see my team be aggressive and go for the win. This time it just didn't happen to work out, and he's going to have to face the criticism for it.
Yeah, but they're definitely not out of this. They still are going to be competing for the conference. Maybe we'll see a rematch in conference championship. I feel like that might be the most likely scenario. After, obviously, what happened with USC this weekend against Notre Dame.